Trinity Sports Medicine, the Orthopedic Institute, and P3 Performance offers you the best fully integrated and patient-centered approach to health and wellness in the tri-state area. Our team will coordinate and customize your care using the latest accelerated recovery treatment options available, dedicated to help any athlete at any level to protect, progress, and perform. Unleash your potential at Trinity Sports Medicine and P3 Performance.
Wow. Welcome to week 5 of the high school football season, week 4 of the Star Sportscast. Mike Mathison, Matthew Peaslee. Question.
Sure.
How many fond memories do you have of doing this with Fred Younts?
I have none. None.
I have none either. Mm-hmm. But McElwain has 100 of them.
It's all for him.
It's all for McElwain. See that smile on his face right now?
Oh, my.
He misses Fred Younts.
Oh, my.
Now, you know who I miss? Brent Sableski. But you know why I miss Sableski?
Why is that?
Because he got us into this. And I can't punish him on a weekly basis for getting us into this. That's why I have him on my radio talk show every Saturday morning, so I can punish him doing that.
Yep. You get him over the airwaves and
yeah,
little taste of
it.
But
can't you see, Mac? He hates me. He wishes Fred was here. He wishes
we just can't do the show justice without.
We really can't. We can't.
It's.
But you know what the best show with the Younts was? Remember the day he couldn't talk?
Yeah.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
That was a fond memory.
That was a fond memory.
I guess we have one fond memory.
Good show.
I wonder how that manual labor is doing with Fred Younts.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. Okay, week 5.
Football time.
Number 1 in the state in Division 2, Massillon, hosts number 4 in the state in Division 4, Steubenville Big Red. Yeah, it's not a big game at all, is it?
No, boy. Up then going to Massillon, it's going to be a packed house, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that place is be rocking and rolling. Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, the mecca of high school football, as they say.
Yeah, I love that place.
Yeah, it's a great,
real cool.
Yeah, so, and the Big Red won't. I mean, the moment won't get to them. I mean, they've played there enough.
Yeah.
They've played. It's just. Massillon's really good.
Yeah, and Big Red saw him last year, and it was a rough game. It's almost that same team with that young quarterback
who's already committed to Ohio State.
Yeah, he committed there as a freshman. And
yeah,
he's just a sophomore, and I've seen a couple films of him on the internet, and he doesn't look like even a sophomore. He didn't look like a freshman as a freshman. He still looks like he's a grown man. He can throw the ball a mile. And
Big Red I think they're 100 times better than they were last year. Their defense is much better. They're healthier than they were last year. Although they still have some kids injured. They still have some kids out.
Right.
Yeah. It's just it'll be a really good football game.
Yeah, it's going to take both teams' best effort, really. And we'll have to see how Big Red.
Just neither team can turn the ball over.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say that all the time. But there's been you can win games having more turnovers. It's just you would prefer not to.
Right, and it's. If the defense can make a turnover in a game like this, that could be just a huge momentum changer for that team. And
absolutely.
No matter what happens.
Have fun up there in Mascot. That's going to be good. That's going to be a good one. 2 undefeated teams will meet at Kettlewell. 4-0 Indian Creek will entertain 4-0 St. Clairsville. That should be another. That's going to be Indian Creek's defense having to shut down St. Clairsville in space. Yeah. And Creek has been known to have problems with that sometimes.
Yeah, and Creek had a nice win last week going to a Buckeye local where, again,
emotions were high.
It was more than just a game there, and they got Buckeye's best effort, I'm sure. And
yes.
It was up to Creek they showed class, which was awesome.
Yep.
They were able to not let the emotions get the best of them in a game like that, and were able to come out of there with a nice win. A close game, but they were able to come out and win, and they're going to be one to stay undefeated again. With this game.
Their defense has carried them. I don't want to say carried them, but I'll say carry them. Their defense has played really well in 4 games. Their offense, they need to show a little bit more. At some point down, I think teams are going to start putting 9 in the box against Creek and make them throw the ball. But that's going to be another good one at Kettlewell.
Yeah, then we'll have to see how 2 young quarterbacks handle that in Wade and Jabari Taylor.
Yep.
And it'll be a good atmosphere over there too.
Another good atmosphere is the 3-1 Martins Ferry Purple Riders coming off their loss to St. C at 3-1 Harrison Central.
Yeah, Harrison's all their games so far, whether they win or lose, have been just so close.
It's an offensive explosion for Kropka too. They win 43-33 last week. They lose 35-34 the week before
on the field goal.
Yeah, on the field goal, last second field goal.
Yeah,
Isn't Kropka great? Oh, sorry. Look at McElwain. Isn't that hilarious? I mean, but obviously they're getting a very, very mad Martins Ferry team who played very well last week against St. C and got beat.
Yeah, and Harrison's their defense has played well.
Yes,
and the offense has been great too because they have a couple guys that can run the ball. With Travis Stenson, I like a kid Tyson Johnson, who when I saw them play against Weir, he only had 2 carries, but they both went for over 20 yards. Just to have a guy like that you can give to more than twice a game would be nice. They can explode like that. He reminds me of a Cam Davis of Weir, who when you hand him the ball, he can do some special things. But Stenson's their workhorse, and they're going to be feeding him this weekend too. And
then it is homecoming at Harrison Central, so nice game. And Kropka has yet to beat his old team, so. Since he played at Ferry and coached at Ferry, he has yet to beat Ferry.
Yeah, he loved games like that as a coach,
absolutely.
I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Another big game in the Gem City, 4-0 Shadyside, 5th in the state in Division 7, visits Toronto, coming off a huge rivalry win over Steubenville Catholic Central. But this is a whole other beast in Shadyside Tigers.
Yeah, that's Shadyside every year, and they're always undefeated at this point. And the atmosphere last week in Toronto was awesome.
Yeah.
A bunch of Toronto fans, obviously. A lot of Central fans went home stunned after that one. Toronto played just an awesome game. They've had very few mistakes, if any. They created turnovers. They forced 3 fumbles, taken an interception back almost for a touchdown, and their offense is clicking right now.
Blaine Rosson's doing a nice job at quarterback. Yeah. Nolan Clegg comes in as a freshman to run the ball. Trey Ross III is running the ball. Drew Lowry here and there.
Danny Zadinek gets a handful of carries. And Ty West, their wide receiver,
sophomore,
that awesome spin move that gave Toronto their first score. I mean, he could have been maybe just a 6-yard gain, but he's able to shake a Central defender and take it all the way.
How's that? Shake?
He shook him. Yeah,
wow,
he shook him. But a lot better moves than I have. And he was gone, and it was 7-7 at that point. But then Toronto just ran away from it after that. It's sort of the Central scored first in that game, and it looked like it was going to be a shootout back and forth. But really, it was all Toronto in that game.
Shadyside has Division I verbal commit Austin Doris at quarterback, going to Indiana to play tight end. So obviously the Tigers start and end with him. They don't end with him, but they start with him, and you've got to figure out a way to stop him.
I know he's got a couple guys to throw the ball
to.
Yeah,
exactly. And, it's not like they don't have weapons.
It's going to take a strong effort from Toronto's defense. But again, they're coming off their best game of the season, the defense, even though they had a trouble shutting down Wellsville in week 1. But the past 3 games, they've shut out teams in the second half. So that's
that's saying something.
That's saying something, and especially that's what you need coming into a huge game against Shadyside. I mean, if Toronto's able to knock them off, it's going to be tough. That's a huge season turnaround almost. Not only to be 4-1 at this point, but to beat Shadyside would be huge.
It'd be massive. And now another good game, the Weir High Red Riders at 3-1, and I believe they have cracked the top 16 in the state in West Virginia in SSAC points. Sure. And they are number 8 in the WV Metro News Power Rankings. They host 3-1 Liberty Harrison. The Red Riders are fresh off a nice 47-35 win at Grafton, where Larch runs for 204, 5 touchdowns. Cam Davis does his thing. Zahir Hicks picks off a pass late in the game to stop a drive. Just in the Red, almost 500 yards of total offense by the Red Riders.
And Grafton's no slouch. They were undefeated.
They're number 8 in the state.
They were undefeated, and we were listening to that game here. It seemed like it was a fun one down there, but Will Larch just took over.
Owned them.
I mean, he hasn't run that much up until this point in the season.
Well, according to Ferberto, he got dinged up in the Harrison Central game, and they have kept him from running in the rest of that game and in the Edison game. They didn't allow him to run. He's healthy now, and he decided, and they put the full part of the offensive playbook in.
Yeah, when you got Larch that can do that, and Cam Davis that can do that.
And then you can throw it to JoJo Rice, and then you can
Jake Whipsek.
Jake Whipsek. You can find Corey Henrietti. You can find some. You can give the ball to Matt Hartman.
As Zahir Hicks runs the ball too.
Yeah, Zahir runs the ball.
Could be a fun offense, and it'll be a fun one at Jimmy Carey.
It should be a fun one at Jimmy Carey. And this is you go down, you prove something. You go down and prove something. Now you have to back up what you prove.
Sure.
And obviously, I'm pretty sure the Weir High Red Riders can do that. The Edison local Wildcats, off their fresh off their first win of the season, go to UL. UL's 2-2. Edison's 1-3. Edison did a nice job Friday night, being down 16-0 to Bel Air, and didn't panic.
Yeah.
I was on the sidelines taking pictures, and no one panicked. No one. Coach Stickles didn't panic. The coaching staff, the players, they just kept, come on, we can get this, we can get this, we can get this, and they did.
Yeah, and they could have won that Weir game the week before. They
played really well against Weir.
They could be 2-2 now, but getting that first win, somewhat still early in the season. It's hard to believe it's week 5 already, but it's still early in the season. There's a lot of games ahead, a lot of momentum to be had, and Edison's coming into this game with momentum.
They're playing a team that is probably really not happy they lost last week.
Yeah, and then losing to Harrison Central.
At home.
In a shootout.
Yeah.
And Edison's offense seems to be coming around a little bit better than it was at the start of the year, too.
Skills is doing a nice job. He's finding Carter Andriozzi. He's finding Daly. He's finding, Ethan Shannon. He's finding other kids to.
And Ethan Shannon's a tough runner, too. He's almost like a Trey Ross.
But if you look at Edison's defense, you take out the Carrollton game, they've played really good football. Sure, yeah. Really, Carrollton's 4-0 and really good. So you take that, they've played really good. That defense played really good football.
Carrollton's number 8, I believe, in Division III.
Yeah,
too. So they're not only a bigger school, they're a really good team.
Yep. And the Steubenville Catholic Central will head to Oak Glen in Oak Glen's homecoming. Steubenville Central fresh off that loss. Oak Glen dropped the 34-12 decision at number 1 Williamstown, at West Virginia Class A, number 1 Williamstown. Dakota Price still ran for a $177 for Oak Glen down at the number 1 team. So obviously they might have found something.
Yeah, and that's a team, probably Oak Glen last year, they go to, if they play Williamstown, they'd lose that game big. They're able to hang with the number 1 team is impressive. And especially with homecoming, coming back home, they're going to give Central their best effort because Central's a team that not only needs to turn it around, they want to turn it around.
Exactly.
Coach Daly after the game said that come Saturday in practice, they're breaking everything down. They're basically starting from scratch to see what's going wrong with their offense, what's going wrong with their defense, and because this isn't what they've been used to in the past couple of years.
No, it's not. And Oak Glen, Ian Whittington told me last week that defense has played, for the most part, pretty good all season long. Yeah. And they proved, and they probably played well last week, too. They just played a really good football team.
Yeah, Stoner Romano's still a tough runner, and he's going to be tough to take down. Yep. Toronto was able to shut him down. Chris Murphy ran the ball a lot more than I think he has all year against Toronto, so maybe that's a new wrinkle that Central adds to the offense and splitting the carries in that regard. But
that's going to be
there's a lot for Oakland to stop, and it'll be just another good game that we have this week.
There. Yep, you'll be there. Whitney Park at Brooke, another homecoming. Brooks homecoming playing rival Park. Brooks coming off a 35-7 loss to Big Red. Park is coming off a 17-14 loss at University.
A team that
Brooke beat 28-21 the week before. I listened to the radio. I guess Brooke played a relatively respectable game, dropped a couple passes, really played good defense. Unfortunately gave Big Red a short field a couple times. But I'm telling you, that team's gonna find something.
Yeah, and it could be
this week against. Yeah, absolutely.
You said they did drop a few passes, but they still have big targets for.
I think Thomas Cole's got 33 balls through 4 games.
Good hands and just a huge
6'6",
inviting target.
Knows how to use his body.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Kind of like me when I was a point guard in high school.
Point guard.
Yeah, believe this. This is a point guard. It was 110 pounds ago. I was a whopping 6'2", 175 as a senior. So, yeah, point guard.
Yeah.
Yep. Not quite Magic. More like a poor man's Larry Bird, really.
Real poor man.
Real poor man.
The homeless man's Larry Bird?
No, I couldn't shoot. I was a terrible shot. Couldn't shoot. I can make free throws.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could make free throws, and I could pass the ball off. My shot was terrible.
Yeah.
But I can still shoot free throws better than my son, so everything's okay. Okay, Saturday game. Buckeye Local goes to Bel Air. 2 teams are 0-4. Both teams looking for win number 1. I think Bel Air, I don't want to say I thought they had it at Edison, but when you're leading 16-0, you don't expect to lose that ball game.
And then when you're a younger team with a new coach, that's like you kind of fall apart, whereas Edison has their coach pretty established, and like you said, they didn't panic, and that's a game that a team like Edison wins and a team like Bel Air loses.
And then because Edison recovered a fumble, then kind of momentum shifted their way. Buckeye obviously was coming off a huge emotional game at home against Creek. the question is, what happens with that emotion going into this week?
Yeah, hopefully they see that they can. I mean, they were leading in that game a little bit.
They played. Yeah, they're leading. They've played a good first half against Ferry. Played an entire good game against UL. Lost late. Had a good first half against JM. Then got beat, and then played a good in 4 quarters of football against Creek, and had the lead.
Yeah. Hopefully they see that they can do that, and they're still down guys that are still recovering from their injuries, but hopefully that they see that they can do that against a good team like Creek and against good teams they've played all year long and turn around to get a win on the road on Saturday.
Yeah, because they have shown signs of brilliance. I mean, they really have. Let's see if they can put it together for 4 quarters and pick up a dub.
This would be the week to do it.
Madonna's off their bye week, which they needed, and they go to Cameron, which got their first win of the season last week, and allegedly playing without one of the players who allegedly got kicked out in an allegedly really pathetically bad call.
Sure, yeah. Madonna's off the bye week, and hopefully figured out something that was going wrong for them in the first couple weeks, and this would be the time to go down and get a win. And hopefully
defense needs to step up. Sure. There's no doubt about that. Defense needs to step up, get the ball to the offense a few times, and the offense needs to do something. But this is the first of 5 straight road games for the Weirton Madonna Blue Dons.
That's crazy. And
isn't that crazy? First of 5, correct? Am I allegedly correct?
I believe so.
Because who knows with me. And I can't count numbers, so... Wait, there it is. They go to... They're at Cameron, at Bridgeport, at Bishop Donahue, at Clarksburg Notre Dame, and at Steubenville Catholic Central. Sure. So the next time they're home is Halloween night against Toronto. Well, I'm guessing that's their homecoming.
That's a tough schedule, too, with those tough road games and then coming home.
At.
Just got to see how the team responds to that. And this is their first week to do it.
They're young, so let's see if they can, like most young kids, can forget the junk and move forward. Rearview mirror. Quit looking through the rearview mirror, look through the windshield, as they say.
Hands at 10-2.
10-2. KGB, key gear brake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
10-2. Let's see who can drive that bus down to Cameron and get a win.
That's good.
So in the wild card, who do the Pirates start?
Oh, Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole.
I mean, I'd say Liriano or Cole. But
come on, Liriano's has a .35 ERA.
And he's done it there. I'm excited to see what Cole can do tonight against the Braves that could clinch the playoff spot for the Pirates. But
sorry, we're in the Bucko banter. I'm sorry. I apologize. How about your Mountaineers?
I'm happy. I'm happy to be 2-2 after that year, that schedule to start the year.
Okay, but here's my question. Here's my question to you, Mountaineer rabid fans.
Sure.
Your expectation was down here for the Mountaineers this year. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a given for the most part?
Sure.
For the most part.
We'll go with that.
So you play well against Bama.
Yeah, real well.
They beat Maryland, and they play well against Oklahoma for a half and a quarter.
Okay, a half and a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now the expectation have now raised.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So what do they do with those expectations now?
Make a bowl game.
Make a bowl game.
The expectations have changed from years past. We don't go to a bowl game last year. I'll still see us being 7-5. We beat Kansas. We beat Iowa State. We'll lose to Baylor or Texas. Texas might have a rebound against us. We beat TCU.
Texas Tech, Oklahoma State.
Texas Tech's pretty crappy this year compared to what they've seen in the past.
They just found a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah. And Cliff Kingsbury isn't as good as everybody thinks he is as a quarterback or as a coach. Yeah, it's
this fandom here, man.
We're
going to a bowl.
That's it. I mean,
we're going to a bowl. You didn't think they'd win 4 games this year. Now you're going to a bowl.
I said no. I would say 5 or 6, on the verge of 6, because they
on the verge of 6.
They could have won 6 last year too. Woulda,
coulda, shoulda.
Yeah,
please
right.
stop.
But now
you lose in Kansas, you don't deserve to go to a bowl game.
But now it's a better team this year, so the wouldas and couldas become.
So is Clint Trickett better than people thought?
Oh yeah. He's and that's the Holgerson touch a little bit, because everywhere Holgerson's gone, he's had elite quarterbacks. Last year was their learning experience together, and he's turned him into an elite quarterback.
Wow, seriously.
I'm not a Holgerson apologist, because I'm not totally happy with him, but he has done some good things. He just needs to get his defense up and his special teams to not be so crappy either. That's it. Just that.
That's it.
Yep. That's it.
Yep. Really?
Yep. That was West Virginia scores and Oklahoma takes that 100-yard kickoff return down. It's the same thing that happened against LSU.
Oh, look at this! Oh, he remembers. See, all these fans know this stuff right away.
We get the win.
We. Come on, we.
There's no I. There's a me in team. There's no I in team, but there is a me in team.
Okay, so. There's a we, like we the Mountaineers and we the Pirates.
Right.
Okay, thanks. We the Ursuline Irish.
Yeah. I pay money for those teams, and they have to deliver for me. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Oh, I'm sure glad I'm not a fan like you. Last week for this, our wonderful, brilliant, awesome football preview. He's got a really good story in there. I've got a really good story in there, and there's some really good stuff in here. And we will see you next week after the Mountaineers lose during their bye week. Later.
Let's go, Mountaineers.
Mike needs a hug. Mike needs a hug. Mike needs a hug. See, that wasn't off, you lying dog. You lied like a rug, man. You lie like a bad toupee.
Go.
We want yowns. We want yowns. We want yowns. We want.
When you're the star of 2 hit internet shows,